when he's like, well, everybody needs a dad in their life. I said, did you grow up with a dad? He goes, yeah, absolutely. I grew up with a dad. I said, well, if you're the example of what it is to grow up with a dad, then shit, I'm doing good. And I can't wait to have kids.
Good for you.
He was a piece of that guy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Mom Edit with Jamie and Lisa. You know, sometimes I say with Jamie and Lisa. Sometimes I say with Lisa and Jamie. I think the official.
What do we usually do?
I think the official way is Lisa and Jamie because whenever I write it out, I write Lisa and Jamie. But when I introduce us, I say Jamie and Lisa because you know what? I'm saying it.
You say it, girl. You could say whatever you want. You're pregnant.
I feel like today we're going to be diving into like another very touchy subject.
Ooh, are we going to do it? Are we going to do the man talk?
It is very vulnerable. And I feel like
we have to get vulnerable, yes.
Yeah, I think it's important because otherwise...
what's the point of the episode?
Yeah,
they're just like,
exactly.
Everything's great and da-da-da. I mean, I think we made it clear actually that, you know, we're not everything's
I think we're
great.
probably fighting on the last few episodes.
No, we're not. We're doing good.
Well, today we're going to be talking about if a kid really needs a dad to thrive.
If a kid, what was it? If a kid
really needs a dad to thrive.
A dad. Do you need a dad to thrive?
Or is it time to rethink what kids actually need?
Or is it time to rethink what kids actually need?
Okay. You sound like, what Dateline?
An anchor.
Dateline.
I haven't watched a Dateline or listened to a Dateline in a long time.
We used to listen to them all the time.
Driving.
On long drives. Now we can't. Now we have to listen to like Miss Rachel.
We have the kids listening to
kindergarten
Jane Doe missing in the thing. Right.
We can't hear all that language. So now we always hope that the kids fall asleep in the car because we're like, if they sleep, we could listen to a podcast or a Dateline.
Yes, but then I think subconsciously, what if it's getting subliminally in Carmela's head or Francesca's head?
Usually we start it and then you're like, we can't listen.
We can't listen. So-and-so got trapped in a car by the man with that one hook.
The last time we went on a long drive, we just listened to our own podcast.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was fun.
I was like, who are these people? He's so fucked up.
So I do feel like there is some outdated beliefs because like when you really think about it, right? There is so many different types of families and those kids grow up to be just fine. Example number one, you. Yeah. You did not grow up with a dad in your life.
No, I did not.
And I grew up with a different type of family because I had a stepdad and my dad, right? So I lived with my stepdad
right,
and then I saw my dad a few times a week.
Yeah.
So I just feel like every family is different and we're going to talk a little bit today about what we do or do not do to feel like we fill any voids that I don't even know how to say it. See what I mean? Like it's a touchy subject because I don't want to say something that I don't really mean.
Right.
So let me try to rethink this. Like we're going to talk today about things that we do for our family.
Period. And real quick to what you said, it made me think about something else. So you said, well, you grew up without a dad, right? But I used to think because I grew up without a dad, that people would be like, oh, that's why she's a lesbian because she grew up without a dad. However, I have a sister who's extremely straight and I have a brother who is a definition of a straight male.
Yeah.
So, you know, and my dad passed when I was
young.
young.
You just have like all these thoughts. Yeah. Your dad passed when you were 4.
Yeah.
So he really
and you know
was
what
not
came
around
up?
at all.
You know, real quick. On an episode of Tila Tequila, not that I'm bringing it back again, but this was very important because this was before a time where gay marriage was even legal. There was this asshole Chad on an episode, and it was something you got to take a thing out of thing, and it said, "Do you think that gay marriage should be legal?" And he's like, "No, absolutely not, because then everybody's going to marry their buddy for insurance." And now this guy was the epitome. Watch the show. Find it in the whatever library of an asshole. He was the epitome. Got in a fight on the show, got kicked off. And I stood up for myself. And I'll never forget, they showed this one scene when he's like, well, everybody needs a dad in their life. I said, did you grow up with a dad? He goes, yeah, absolutely, I grew up with a dad. I said, well, if you're the example of what it is to grow up with a dad, then shit, I'm doing good. And I can't wait to have kids.
Good for you.
He was a piece of that guy.
Good for you.
He was the epitome of bad and all around, you know? So
yeah, because you know what?
Deal. I don't believe that you need a dad to be a beautiful, successful, amazing, confident human being.
And I think that's kind of going to be the point that we get to in this episode.
Yes.
It's like, do you need the masculine energy to build a really great human being?
That masculine energy
I don't think it's about masculine versus feminine. I think it's about just teaching your kids to be a good human by being a good model.
And we even knew that before we went into this conversation that it's going to be different because now we're really opening up and sharing our true thoughts and true feelings.
Yeah.
And not just talking about relationship stuff.
Yeah.
And now but this is the stuff that really connects with other families like ours, I believe.
Yeah, I totally
and that's why
agree.
we made it.
So we're going to basically talk about breaking down the misconception that kids miss out when they don't have a dad.
That's right.
Yeah. So what do you think our kids are gaining instead? Well, I don't think our kids are gaining something instead. I think they're just getting two awesome parents. We really do try our hardest to constantly learn how to be a better parent.
Yes.
We talked about this a few episodes ago. We listen to parenting things online. We listen to podcasts. We read blogs. We seek out experts and follow what we talked about Dr. Becky. And I think we really do go out of our way to try to, and this is in every part of our life, not just parenting, but parenting in particular.
Yeah.
We really spend a good amount of time.
Our careers, our relationships. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time sending each other videos and blogs and stuff of different parenting tips because we always try to be better. So it doesn't matter if we're a male or a female. We just try to be the best parents we could be. That's number
right.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I think we naturally have, both of us each have a masculine side and a feminine side.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
the yin and the yang.
Yeah, even
I went
in
to a
straight
meditation.
relationships, there's a lot of women that are in straight relationships and the kids have a dad that still have a masculine side.
Oh, absolutely.
It is what it is. It's masculine energy and feminine energy. But what were you going to say about the yin and
No, I went to a meditation workshop on Mother's Day, as you know, and we're talking about the feminine energy internally and then the masculine, the yin and the yang. And it just exists. And it's about lighting up one part of your energy more or something. And both energies were beautiful. They're just called that. Right. Through the yin and the yang. That's what I got.
And I think that kind of brings us to my next question. So what would you say that our kids gain instead of having a dad?
I wouldn't say, I agree with you. I wouldn't say gain instead, but I would say that we both focus on them being proud of themselves heavily because we know what they will face when they're older. May face, but will face. They're going to get a couple comments here and there. So we have a heavy focus on that because of being a gay family, right?
Definitely.
So we're giving that. I would never say instead because a lot of parents are absolutely amazing, empowering families.
Of course.
Parents. But I would say we have a heavy, heavy focus on that. And then also, I think I really do think being two women, we do hear feelings a lot.
Yeah, we're
not knocking one of my best friends is a guy, but not knocking men out there, but the way that we are in touch with our feelings and our emotions. I won't say all women. I'll never generalize anything, but for us specifically, we were both very much in touch with our feelings and wanting them to be heard and hearing them. So I think that we offer that platform for our kids.
Yeah, and I think we might not be a man and a woman, but my next point that I want us to discuss is that don't you think we each bring different roles? How do we each bring different structure or affection or leadership, the play, the nurturing, regardless of our gender? I actually said this, I guess, one of our previous episodes, we do actually play with our kids very differently. I do feel like you are the more roughhouser. You are the one doing mommy monster. You're chasing them. And I'm cooking with them.
And that's just my personality.
It's just your personality.
It doesn't matter if we're, male, female, any of that. Exactly. It just is my personality. It's just your personality.
Or you'll be the one to
but society,
them. That's just not my interest.
But society is the one that has labeled that. And it starts from when you're young and it's here's the blue, here's the blue, here's the pink, here's the trucks. Remember Carmela's I want to do the boy things. I want to do the boy things. The boy thing to her was playing with the freaking cool ass truck or a cool Batman toy that anybody would want to play with.
You know what's interesting?
So it's just society that labels these roles. Yeah. And that's really what it is.
I do believe, in
my opinion,
I do believe there is such thing as masculine and feminine energy, kind of like we touched on before with the yin and the yang. However, you're totally right about the society and how they label things, because Carmela naturally, without us ever teaching her these things, identified activities since she was a toddler, barely learning how to speak, that certain things were for boys. And she'd be like, well, I don't want to hang out with the girls because they don't like girl things.
Not when she was at Montessori and stuff like that. She didn't separate then. It was starting kindergarten. But when she was toddler.
Because she went to academy.
She still likes things that were just now labeled by society like the boy things in the
She's
boy
always
aisle
liked that stuff
of
better. She loves playing in the dirt.
Target.
She loves playing in the dirt. She loves playing with,
Right.
especially now as she gets older, she loves like scorpions and insects
She
and
loves
bugs.
I've never learned so much about bugs.
and
I love reading to her
like
at night.
all of these things that, or you're right, society labels as boy things.
But it's her personality.
But it's her personality.
So we keep trying to say to her, like, it's not a role. It's not boy, girl, this, that. Okay?
Yep.
It's what you like.
It's
And
hard
that's
because
it.
society kind of pushes all these ideas in you. She'll be like, oh, well, I only like to hang out with boys a lot of the times because they're the only
Well, she
ones.
picks that up from books that they read at school.
Exactly.
She
And
picks
she'll
it
be
up
like,
from her
they're the only
friends.
ones that like what I like.
Right.
And then I'll point out other kids that I happen to know
Right.
also love bugs.
That's just the age that she's at right now, too.
Yeah.
You know.
But I
so.
do, yeah. And like going back to what we were saying before, like my next question here for you was like, what do you think masculine energy even means in our home? But I kind of feel like we touched on this. Like,
yeah.
it is like the yin and the yang. We just have natural roles within our family dynamic
Right.
that we are different, right?
We're different. And again, it just is based on our personality 100%.
Oh, I totally agree about that.
Because there's no way that I have any desire to bake anything from when I was a child.
Yeah, right. It's just not your personality. Just
There's
like,
no way you would
Carmel,
go, Mommy Monster's here.
yeah, like it's just not me. It's just not
If
my
you
sort of
did it, they'd
thing.
be scared.
But we do have, okay, so we have a 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old girl.
Yeah.
We have 2 little girls in the way.
Mhm.
Even our cat is a girl. And then we have this little boy. And so we don't pretend like it's not important for him because I do feel like kids learn through modeling.
True.
And he only sees women around him. And for the rest of his life, he's going to be surrounded by women. And so we don't act like, oh,
Like my brother.
yeah, we don't act like it. We don't think it's important for him to have representation. It's the same way that we hope that we have representation in
That's
society.
true. Good point.
We want him to have representation. We don't want him to look around and be like, I don't see anybody like me. I want him to go around and see other men and be like, oh, there's a lot of people like me.
Do you know I had this thought, and I'm going to be totally honest with you and totally transparent, that I
Should I be
thought-
scared about this?
No, but this is all about honesty, this podcast. All about telling you everything here. When I knew we were having a boy, I was like, should I dress more manly? Should I wear hats or something? And I really thought that. It's so funny to hear it out loud, but like,
Yeah, meanwhile,
But
joke's
then
on
I
you though now
realized-
because now Carmela will be like, I want to dress like mommy. I don't want to wear a dress. I want to wear a button down and pants. I get fancy. That's how mommy gets fancy. And I'm like, we're going to
that's
it.
because
Blah, blah, blah.
she has fun with me. It's just fun with you too.
And
but
she
I
also
like her,
she likes to be comfortable. Like that's just who she is.
Right. So I thought that, but then I realized like, no, I'm not gonna change my personality. I'm not gonna change who I am. And
Yeah.
we have some great guy friends and my brother.
So
And,
before your
yeah.
brother moved back,
It's important for me and you. It's
Yeah.
important for him to be around others
Definitely.
that remind him of himself.
so your brother just
like
moved,
us, like I wanted a gay friend. You know,
exactly.
it's
You
the
want
same.
representation and you want to
Yeah.
have people you could relate to. So your brother just moved back within the last few weeks or last month from
When he called, we
from
both lit up.
Florida to New Jersey. But before that, we have made so many amazing friends that are local to us that we see very often. And I do feel like our friends are really amazing. Like I could think of at least 4 of them that really go out of their way to make a connection with friends. I can
Yes.
cry. See, I'm just so emotional lately. They go out of their way to make a connection with him. And I see that.
I know.
And if our friends, some of them listen to
Shane,
this podcast.
Phil, I know.
Yeah, yes.
I know.
Even Kyle.
Corey,
Corey.
Kyle,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Yeah,
We
those
just named
moments
4 in 2 seconds. I can
yeah.
even think of more, but
and when I watch him,
I see they
right?
go out of their way
That
to make a
means a lot.
connection with him, and it really does mean a lot to me because
I know.
I want him.
cried
I'm going to
too,
cry. I'm just so
'cause
emotional
They didn't even
lately.
have to do that.
They don't have to do that. I also don't think we put a blind eye to things that we know we physically can't give him. For example,
or know about.
right?
like
I
his
have no
penis.
idea about penis. I literally know nothing.
So tell him
I
the
can't
story
even
about the
tell-
circumcision.
I can't even tell the difference. Oh, we could tell that story. But I tell you, I can't even tell the difference between a circumcised and uncircumcised
No, I
penis. I
can.
literally don't even think I would
You don't
know.
even-
I haven't seen enough penises to know the difference. I really don't know. However, wait, 2 stories. One about the circumcision when he was born.
Yeah,
And then 2, when we were working on potty training, what happened?
that's right.
Okay, so say the circumcision
So when
story.
he's born, we're like, the first thing I said was, all right, this is his first life big decision as a man. All right, I got to make sure that he has the best circumcised penis because I know what that could be like for him, with girls. So there we go. I was thinking about, how girls could talk because we know all that when he's older.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
All right. So the lady walked in. Okay, time for circumcision time. I'm going to go take him. I said, listen, I said, excuse me. Like I was telling her to step into my office.
Yeah.
I said, come here.
And I'm like,
I
dying
said,
on that
listen.
side.
I almost like had my hand on her shoulder. I'm like, listen. He's got 2 moms, all right? You got to do the best circumcision you've ever done in your life. And she was like, I got you. Came back at his pediatrician appointment. He was a baby.
Our
Dr.
regular
Mayer,
pediatrician
what'd
was
she say?
like,
Ooh.
wow,
Ooh.
circumcision. This looks amazing. And you were like, see, I told you, because I was like so embarrassed when you did
I
this.
can't give
And you were
him
like,
certain
see, I
things.
told you, blah, blah, blah. And it was,
But I'll make sure you set with that. Yeah.
Okay. And then more recently, so now that he's like almost 3, we started like working on potty training. And we happened to go to Maine a few days after we were potty training.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going really good when we were at home. He was sitting down while he was peeing. But then when we went to Maine, of course, we're like in a house with like 15 people. He was totally distracted. We were like, well, maybe
guys too.
We're like, maybe it would be easier for him if he was like standing. Maybe he would think it'd be like more fun and he'd be more likely to go because he was resisting wanting to sit on the potty.
Right.
So we can't physically model for him how to pee on the potty standing up. So we had his older cousin who was like, what is Angelo, like 12?
12, 13.
Brought him into the bathroom.
I said, Angelo.
They had their own
No, it was your
private room.
idea.
It was my idea.
Angelo, you
I'm
think
like,
you'll be in front of my son?
Be in front of him and just show him.
Show him whipping it.
Whip it out and point it into the potty.
And Angelo was so excited. He's like, yeah, I got it, buddy. Come here.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
So
Let's
I walked
go.
him in and I said, I'm closing my eyes. He stood there like so
yeah, because
proud,
Francesca didn't
Angelo.
want to go without you,
Yeah.
which is funny.
And I'm
he's
looking
so
like,
social.
oh my gosh, there's my nephew's penis right there. He's this. Oh my gosh, eyes are there. And I'm like, all right, Ange, just sit out. Eyes are closed. He goes, yeah. And then I hear him going, he's like this. He was teaching him like this,
so
Francesco.
cute. So cute.
Francesco, he was trying to do it.
So
And I like that
Francesco gets it.
moment.
And that honestly worked. And then so we would bring that up afterwards. Do you want to do it like? And he would be like, yeah, like Angelo. And we don't play a blind eye. To
And
it.
Angela lives
knowing
here now
there's
too.
things, knowing there's things that we
And
can't
just
do.
watched it.
When he gets older and he starts to date girls, there's going to be certain things about his body,
And
when
that's
he goes
why it's
through
important
puberty
he
that we
has a
don't
close
know.
relationship.
Right. So
with
we really make
my
sure.
brother,
We're so happy
our
that he
friends in
moved
town.
back.
Yeah.
And we're so blessed to have the friends that we do, because I know if he's 16 and let's say your brother's not around and Francesco has a question, he's going to know these kids now his entire life for 16 years. He's going to feel comfortable going to, let's say, Corey to have a conversation about something.
Right.
Or even some of Carmela's friends that will be like 3 years older than him. I think he'll feel comfortable going to those guys too.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa.
I just pictured them all like teenagers, like 16, 17. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I don't even want to think about this.
Yeah. So no, I don't try to act like I'm that. But we try to provide as much as possible for him to have that representation. Like we want representation,
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's what it's about. I think it's about like how could we not expect for him to want representation for people that he could relate to, just like we do.
Right.
And we've talked a lot about this in so many episodes about how we really push. We're doing this podcast for representation. I mean, like,
we're doing this
how could we not?
podcast and Jamie
So
can't even-
even though I feel like I don't feel like he's missing out on anything,
Right.
I think somebody who is a single mom would do the same thing.
Right.
For a dad that wasn't present at all, let's say he passed away or moved far away, like
or divorced
they would have,
and he's not present. Yeah.
like they would have to do the same thing. They would have to seek out somebody where this kid could have some representation
That's right.
and teach him things that can't do.
That's right.
I
agree.
But I do feel like for a little boy growing up with 3 sisters, 2 moms, and a cat that's a girl, he's going to make one hell of a husband.
Absolutely.
We've even had some friends that were like, oh, I have several daughters that are going to have a shot at getting into the Rizzo family because
That's right.
he's going to be so good. And
He's
then
gonna know how
same
to
way
treat
the
them.
opposite, like, oh, I have a son and we have 3 shots with three Rizzo
That's right.
girls.
That's right. That's right.
Good thing is people that'd be happy to be their in-laws.
Well, we're gonna have 4 kids, so I'll have a lot available.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know.
I know.
I still can't believe it.
It's all right.
We're getting closer.
We got it. All right,
Getting
next question,
closer.
because today's a hot take. It's a quick
I
one.
know. Oh, well, my next question, we kind of just answered it. Like, what do you think your son might grow up believing about women? Thanks to our family dynamic. Well,
Mhm.
I think that he is going to know how to respect women for sure and make a good husband.
And I genuinely feel that our family is not missing anything at all. I feel
I think
like
we're totally full and
Yep.
balanced.
we're full, we're balanced. And if you're a gay family out there, if you're 2 guys or 2, and there's not that other role, in a sense, society role. You just be proud. You just put in the work to make them confident and love themselves and love you as parents. And if you can provide that representation, then do it. But you be proud.
You know what else I think would be cool? Like to make sure that we, at some point, we can access another family that has two moms and a son.
Yeah.
Because I think for him to, we do this for Carmela just to make sure they understand they have other kids. But I find that a lot of the people, we end up having daughters.
Yeah.
But making sure that we make connections with other boys that have two moms, because I think as he gets older, that will be really cool. Another cool thing is that in our town, there's not a lot of gay families. We've said this before, but there is a 2-dad family that has triplet girls that are Francesco's age. So we already know going into school, he's going to be like, even though it's different type of family, not necessarily the same, like he'll have another gay family that he could relate to. And so like, I feel like they're going to be like a 4-pack of like kids.
Yes.
Like,
and that's why we have to keep this podcast going so we could say the updates about our kids.
Oh my God.
Hopefully they all turn out great.
Oh gosh, if they turn out the opposite, that's going to suck.
Cancel. The two mom edit
canceled.
Yeah. So did.
I wonder if people could share with us, like,
I would like to hear that.
Have you ever been told your kid needs a dad?
Yes.
Because
or if your kid needs a mom, if you're two guys too.
Yeah. Or have you ever been told that your kid needs a mom? Or if you're a single parent, I think your kid needs X, Y, and Z.
Right.
We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes.
This has been another interesting, like a little bit more vulnerable type of topic. It is uncomfortable for us to talk about
controversial, vulnerable, this, that, but you know,
like when we talk about things that could potentially be controversial, right? Like it's a slippery slope, but we're glad you guys are here for it. We love talking about it.
And these are our thoughts and our opinions.
Yeah.
You know,
don't judge us.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But thank you all for watching. Thank you so much. Turn on the notifications, subscribe, like.
Yeah.
Do it all. Jamie's got to go get a sandwich because that's what we do after every episode.
Every podcast, we always get a sandwich.
But I'm on a little diet, so I can't get my sandwich like I want.
I'm sorry. You have to get some already. I'm only working on my arms at the gym.
Okay.
My belly can do whatever it wants. So I'm just kidding. I eat clean. Sandwich. Just one wrap a week is fine.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
You guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
And that's it.
Bye.
Ciao.